dive into the pages of history where the echoes of a bygone era whisper the tales of the post-Mauryan period. As the Mauryan Empire, one of the world's most extensive political and military empires in ancient India, started to wane around 185 BCE, the Indian subcontinent found itself in the throes of transformation. This period, often referred to as the post-Mauryan period, saw the establishment of various regional kingdoms, each with its unique cultural and political identity. The fabric of Indian society was being rewoven with new threads of cultural and social changes that began to take shape. The political instability that followed the decline of the Mauryan Empire was a fertile ground for the emergence of new powers. Among the many that rose, the Satavahanas, the Kushanas, and the Gupta Empire are noteworthy. The Satavahanas, known for their maritime trade links, emerged in the Deccan region. On the other hand, the Kushanas, with their roots in Central Asia, established their rule in the northern part of India. Lastly, the Gupta Empire, often dubbed as the Golden Age of Indian history, rose in the eastern part of the Indian subcontinent. Each of these empires brought with them a unique blend of cultural influences, shaping the society, culture, and most importantly, the arts and literature of the time. They played a significant role in nurturing the development of various forms of art and literature that we cherish today. This post-Mauryan era was not merely about political changes, it was a time of cultural evolution, a time when the seeds of creativity were sown in the fertile lands of a transforming India. The literature and arts of this period reflect the diversity, the dynamism, and the depth of the Indian civilization. They are the mirrors to a society in flux, a society that was shaping its identity amidst the shifting sands of time. As the political landscape shifted, so did the cultural milieu, giving birth to a new era in Indian literature and arts. As we delve deeper into the subsequent scenes, we will explore the richness of this era's literature and arts, their development, and their lasting influence on the world. In the shadows of political upheaval, literature found a way to flourish, illuminating the society of the post-Mauryan period. The aftermath of the Mauryan Empire was marked by tumult and transformation. But amidst this chaos, literature emerged as a beacon of cultural expression. The post-Mauryan period was a melting pot of diverse languages and literary styles, with Prakrit and Sanskrit dominating the literary landscape. While Prakrit was the language of the common people, Sanskrit was the language of the learned, the scholars. The interplay between these two languages gave birth to a rich tapestry of literary narratives, each contributing to the cultural milieu of the time. One of the most significant contributions to literature during this period were the Jataka tales. These stories, written in an easy-to-understand form of Prakrit, were parables about the previous lives of Buddha, teaching moral lessons steeped in the principles of Buddhism. The Jataka tales were not just stories, they were a vehicle to propagate the philosophy of Buddhism, reaching out to the common people in a language they understood. But it wasn't just Buddhist literature that thrived. Jain literature too found its voice during the post-Mauryan period. Written primarily in Ardhamagadi Prakrit, Jain texts like the Agamas and the Puranas were instrumental in disseminating Jain philosophy and principles. This period also saw the rise of classical Sanskrit literature. The works of Kalidasa, often hailed as the Shakespeare of India, were a testament to the sophistication and elegance of Sanskrit language. His plays and poems are celebrated even today for their profound insight into human nature and society. So, in the midst of political change and social unrest, literature became a platform for dialogue, for expression, for dissent. It was through words that the ethos and values of the society were captured, preserved, and passed down generations. From the moralistic Jataka tales to the philosophical Jain texts, from the common man's Prakrit to the scholar's Sanskrit, each narrative added a layer to the cultural fabric of the time. Literature thus became a mirror reflecting the ethos and values of society during this period. Art is the soul's expression, and the post-Mauryan period saw its canvas being painted with vibrant hues of creativity. This epoch in Indian history, spanning from the 2nd century BCE to the early 3rd century CE, witnessed a flourishing of artistic pursuits. It was a time when the seeds of creativity, nurtured by the richness of cultural exchange, blossomed into full-fledged art forms that continue to astound us even today. During this period, the art of sculpture underwent a significant transformation. Earlier, Indian sculpture was primarily concerned with depictions of divine figures. However, in the post-Mauryan period, we observe a shift towards more humanistic portrayals. The sculptures were no longer just divine idols. They became lifelike figures, embodying emotions and narratives. This was an era when sculptors began to experiment with form, texture, and expression, resulting in a body of work that was both innovative and deeply evocative. Two distinct schools of art that evolved during this time were the Gandhara and Mathura schools. The Gandhara school, heavily influenced by Greco-Roman aesthetics, produced sculptures that were characterized by realistic and detailed human figures, often draped in flowing garments. The Mathura school, on the other hand, developed an indigenous style, focusing on robust, sensuous forms, often depicting deities like Buddha and Krishna. Architecture, too, experienced a renaissance during the post-Mauryan period. The monumental architecture of the Mauryan period gave way to more intricate and detailed structures. Temples, stupas, and viharas became the canvas for artists to express their creativity. They started experimenting with elaborate carvings, intricate patterns, and complex layouts. The architectural grandeur of this period is best exemplified by the rock-cut temples of the Deccan and the brick and stone temples of North India. Painting, though less prevalent compared to sculpture and architecture, also saw an evolution. Artists began to use a broader palette of colors and started painting on a wider variety of surfaces. The murals of Ajanta, though from a slightly later period, provide a glimpse into the artistic richness of the time. The post-Mauryan period was a time of artistic exploration and experimentation. It was a time when artists pushed the boundaries of expression, delved deeper into the human psyche, and sought to capture the essence of the divine. They took the mundane materials of stone and brick and transformed them into enduring symbols of beauty and spirituality. Their work was not just about creating objects of visual appeal. It was about communicating ideas, expressing emotions, and exploring philosophical concepts. From stones and bricks, artists created poetry, giving us a glimpse into the artistic sensibilities of the post-Mauryan period. The art forms that emerged during this time are not just relics of a bygone era. They are timeless masterpieces that continue to inspire, captivate, and provide insights into a vibrant period of India's cultural history. The ripples of the post-Mauryan period's cultural efflorescence were felt far and wide, leaving an indelible mark on Indian history. The literary and artistic developments of this era were not confined to their own time, but transcended boundaries, influencing and shaping the subsequent periods in profound ways. The literary advancements, particularly, set the stage for a rich tradition of storytelling and philosophical discourse. The Sanskrit dramas and epics, the Jataka tales, and the Buddhist and Jain texts all contributed to a vibrant and diverse literary landscape. They not only entertained, but also educated, offering moral and ethical lessons that resonated with the masses. These narratives permeated the fabric of society, influencing the way people thought, acted, and viewed the world. The artistic developments, on the other hand, were instrumental in shaping the cultural identity of India. The intricate sculptures, the detailed frescoes, and the grand architectural marvels all embodied the beliefs, values, and aspirations of the people. They were a visual testament to the rich cultural and spiritual heritage of the nation. And over time, they became symbols of national pride, revered and cherished by generations. But the impact and influence of the post-Mauryan period extended beyond the realm of literature and arts. It also permeated the social, political, and religious spheres. The philosophies and teachings embedded in the literary works informed social norms and ethical conduct. The artistic representations of gods and goddesses, of myths and legends, influenced religious practices and rituals. And the grandeur of the architectural structures reflected the political might and administrative acumen of the rulers. The post-Mauryan period, therefore, was more than just a historical era. It was a cultural revolution that transformed the socio-cultural landscape of the nation. It was a pivotal period that shaped the collective consciousness and identity of the people. It was a time of great cultural efflorescence that left an indelible mark on the annals of Indian history. The post-Mauryan period thus laid the cultural bedrock upon which the edifice of Indian civilization was built. The post-Mauryan period was a melange of chaos and creativity, a pivotal chapter in the annals of Indian history. This era, steeped in both turmoil and transformation, birthed a rich tapestry of literature and arts. We journeyed through the nuances of its literary landscape, where the rhythm of verse and prose strummed the chords of human experience. We marveled at the artistic expressions that emerged, each stroke of the brush or chisel narrating tales of the time. The post-Mauryan period did not merely shape the contours of Indian literature and arts, it breathed life into them. It was an era where the pen and the palette danced to the symphony of civilization, each leaving an indelible imprint on the canvas of time. And so, we've arrived at the end of our odyssey. Yet the echoes of this vibrant era continue to resonate, shaping and influencing the ever-evolving cultural landscape of India. As we close this chapter, we carry with us the echoes of a past that continues to resonate in the cultural heartbeat of India.